Magic Mike Show, where you hear the experts speak. The Magic Mike Show. Tune into the show every week. The Magic Mike Show. You can trust the show is the bomb because it's being brought to you by RacingDudes.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm Magic.
And I'm Mike.
And this is the Magic Mike Show, episode 604. Mr. Somich.
Big old derby points on the line. Huzzah! Woo,
Yeah,
almost lost the water bottle there, too.
That's how excited you are. Yeah, the first derby prep of 2026 is Saturday, September 13th. That makes a lot of sense. The Iroquois Stakes won last year by Jonathan's Way. He raced two more times, didn't make it as a 3-year-old. And then West Saratoga, last year's winner, or 2 years ago, made it in last year's Derby, but he was the first horse in like 16 years to make it to the Derby from the Iroquois. So points by name only, pretty much.
No, Magic. Not by name only. They do get points for this. There will be points awarded on Saturday. Get excited. Don't forget, Sovereignty won the Street Sense here at Churchill Downs last year. So your Derby winner did win a points race at 2 at Churchill last year. Facts.
Listen, Sievers, California's off. Well, not off. They're at Los Alamitos.
We're not going Los Al.
We're not going. The featured race Saturday is the Bertrando Stakes for the Cowbreds. No. I looked at Belmont at the Big A because this might be the last time they have fall racing at Aqueduct ever. If they open on time, which is kind of weird to say. But they only have one stakes race. It's a small one. They have a lot of turf racing. It's good. But we're also a show that needs to pander to the most viewers. And the viewers are going to want to come play Churchill Downs because there's 4 stakes races. Sure, it's all on dirt, but there's 4 stakes races. The Grade 3, the Derby points, and the Grade 2 Locust Grove kicks it off. And if you want to play the Derby City 6, well, race 6 is the Grade 3 Pocahontas, which actually has turned out some good Kentucky Oaks runners in the past.
Yeah, here, pro tip, don't play the whatever Derby City 6, whatever the crappy jackpot that is. It's not a mandatory payout day. Don't play that. Bad for your bankroll. Not good. No bueno.
Real quick, on that topic, I know we're supposed to be talking about a Pick 5 show, but I was talking ticket structure for payout days with Jose Contreras, one of my colleagues at FanDuel. He's Los Ponies. A lot of people know him as Los Ponies. And he's telling me on mandatory payouts, he likes to do, like, say it's a Pick 5. He handicaps the hell out of the last 4 races, and then he waits to see what the tote will say for that first race and single the favorite. Because he said usually the tote will tell you if there's a live horse, and because everybody's handicapping and focusing on it, they'll just the horse that's the favorite wins that more often than not. And so he plays a Pick 4 ticket and just singles whoever the public is betting the most.
I mean, that's a take. I wouldn't do that, but that's a take. The favorite is worth the least amount in the first race of a Pick 5 sequence, or Pick 6 sequence, because that is one of the more singled legs. People generally will not single the last leg, so singles in the last leg are usually worth more. You'll also see people rely on favorites more in the first leg because they want to get out of the first leg, so that horse will get included in a higher percentage of tickets than necessarily the favorite in the second, third, or fourth leg. So everyone's got a strategy. Some are good, some aren't. I love Los Ponies, but I would not be just blindly singling the favorite in the first leg of a carryover.
Well, we'll see what Mike's take is here on this Pick 5. No carryover. It is going to be the first Saturday of the fall meet at Churchill Downs. Like I said, 4 stakes races. It's all dirt. Yeah, I know. But Churchill Downs doesn't have any turf racing hardly at all because all the turf horses just ran at Kentucky Downs in the past. By the way, before we get into it, congratulations to you, Mr. Somich. How big was that ticket that you had?
$144 Pick 5, paid $25,000 last Thursday at Kentucky Downs. So 7-day meet. We talked about it. Just one, just one, baby. And the Pick 4 plus the Pick 5 paid a little over $26,000 in total last Thursday for that early one. And it was 3 top picks and 2 second picks. Didn't even if you bought the grid, you better have hit it. You didn't even have to go deep on anything because it was 3 top and 2 second picks, including a $50 horse that was a must-use horse in the first race that helped kick it off. So yeah, 144 for 25,000. Not too shabby. It puts the bottoms up. It puts the bombs up for the year. We can't have a losing year now, which is kind of incredible considering how good everything was there in November, in August at Saratoga. Had a phenomenal Saratoga meet, and then that $25,000 score puts it up for the year, no matter what happens. So the rest of the last 3 months of the year is all profit here if we can hit anything. So pretty exciting to have that up. That's assuming we bet about $500 a day, which is usually what the bombs bet. 1,000 on Saturdays throughout the rest of the season.
Well, let's see what you've got cooked together here for the Late Pick 5 Saturday, September 13th at Churchill Downs. Let's get right into it, buddy. Rise up. All right, it's kicking off the Late Pick 5 Saturday, September 13th at Churchill Downs. Race 7 is the Grade 2 Locust Grove Stakes, a mile and the 16th, $400,000 purse in a field of 6 older fillies and mares. Where'd you go on top?
Well, since we're playing a Late Pick 5, I figured I might as well just blindly single the favorite to kick this thing off, which is what I'm going to do.
You guys are assholes.
Well, I'm not gonna,
I love Los Ponies. You guys are assholes.
I'm not going to. Either this is also. How do you know me so well, Chris Maiello? I was on eBay. I bought a Jordan Love rookie card, autographed rookie contenders, PSA 10 card, which, by the way, already up in value. Pretty good decision. It's been a good 2 weeks for Packers futures. Give me the number 3, Royal Spa. When I look at these mile and 16th races at Churchill Downs, specifically for the ladies here, specifically at the stakes level, I want speed. I'm looking for horses that are going to be forwardly placed, and it looks like Royal Spa is going to go out and get the lead. We've seen Alpine Princess show some early foot two back, but I don't think Alpine Princess is as fast as Royal Spa when Royal Spa wants to go. So give me the number 3 horse, Royal Spa, gate to wire, single it up. Gotta love the favorite in the first leg of a pick 5, Magic.
Golly, you guys are such assholes. Listen, I think this is definitely the horse to beat. And you look at the last race, you're like, wow, well, she was 4th, beaten 8 1/4. Yeah, Seismic Beauty is going to be probably your second choice in the distaff behind Torpedo Anna. Copion is one of the most likely winners of the filly and mare sprint. Rishi, that's a really good Baffer horse as well. And she was chasing Seismic Beauty, who went gate to wire and just wasn't fast enough to catch a Baffer horse that was absolutely cranked up for that Grade 1 race. So I'm with you. I did also use the 1 Regaled, and here's why. So to go at Ellis Park a mile, that's like a turn and a half, right? Almost a turn and 3/4. But the fact it's also a speed favoring track. And this is a filly who first start in the new barn after being sold for $300,000. They put her in that race, 3-month break, and she gets second beaten ahead to a horse, the Impel, who we'll talk about 2 races later in race 9 in the Open Mind Stakes. A speed favoring track, and she beat Alpine Princess handily, who, by the way, is 2-1 in the race that we'll talk about a little later on. And I really thought that was an impressive effort. The 87 buyer, almost her career best, which came 3 back. So she's at 90, 88, and then 87 buyers. There's a lot of speed. If the speed gets cooked, you know this filly is going to be passing horses. And I like that she sat 4 lengths off early in the Groupie Doll and steadily improved her position. She cannot be 10, 15, 11 lengths back, even probably 6 and 7 lengths back like she's been in the past against these horses. But if she stays closer, second off the layoff, look at those times, Mike. They went 25, 49, 50, 25, and she finished second beaten ahead closing into that. I mean, dawdling New York turf route pace, and she almost beat them.
Yeah, I mean, they were crawling. She was wide. Kind of everything that you don't want for her last time was what she faced. It's going to be second into a barn, second off the layoff. Both of those things are positive. Has some success at the distance as well, 3 for 7. If you're using 2, I don't hate this one, right? I don't want to use the 2 and the 3. I think that's just really killing yourself. And what I'm only playing $48 on this pick 5, so I'm trying to keep it cheap here. So if you are going to use the 3 and you're going to use the second horse, I think you've got to use the price here. I don't mind. I don't mind the 1. I had the 6 and second, but I don't hate the idea of trying to use the 1 to be able to beat the 3 as well.
I am sad about the fall off form that the 5 horses had, because this is the filly who went back-to-back second place efforts in Grade 2 and Grade 1 races behind Torpedo Anna. I played the exacta in both of those, and it was paying. Torpedo Anna winning with Free Like a Girl in second was paying so much better than it ever should have. But
it was fun.
Fallen off form. But she's earned $2.5 million, the richest Louisiana bred in history. not a chance. I just wanted to give her a quick shout out.
Yeah, that's a fun horse. Probably not today.
Yeah. Let's move on. Race number 8, the Iroquois Stakes, grade 3 event for the 2-year-old colts. This is going to be a one-turn mile distance here. And Comport, the 7, heavy 6-5 favorite for good reason. You look at his record. He breaks the maiden on debut here at Churchill Downs very heavily. Was second in the Bashford Bammer to Romeo, one of the top early 2-year-olds. And he comes back and wins the Ellis Park Juvenile last time out. The buyers are going up, but he's a short price, and there are a lot of horses in here I think you could argue for potential improvement. So where'd you go?
Yeah, look, I respect Comport. I'm going to use Comport. I thought the last race was very good. I like the fact that didn't need the lead and able to get by late. Spice Runner set the pace in that race and then kind of got caught. Got a little leg weary. Don't want any part of Spice Runner in this race at this price at 7-2. I think Comport kind of covers Spice Runner. I'm gonna go to the rail. Give me nothing personal here. 8-1 on top on the Pine. This is a horse that I thought debuted and looked awesome in that race. You see this early splits 4th, 3rd, and you're like, oh, well, this horse wasn't that fast early. Wrong. No, they went 22-1, 44-2, and this horse was 2 lengths off of those early numbers. So this was a sub 23, sub 44. So, Mike, how did this horse come home? Really well. Won by 8 3/4 lengths.
Yeah.
Absolutely rolling the entire time. Gets a second highest blast out buyer with that 76, which was, oh, by the way, also the first race. We often see horses improve in the second start. And magic. Who's that, sire? Violence. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go with the number 1. Nothing personal to get her done at 8-1.
So some bad news here. I don't think we're getting 8-1 because that's my top play as well.
Oh, there's no chance we get 8-1, but we can pretend. We can pretend we're getting 8-1.
Listen, definitely not going to be favored. And I think that the 5 Spice Runner is going to take play too because of that 75 buyer. And you can say, well, the horse was just second to Comport. I agree with everything that you said. And Colonial Downs is a fast track whenever they have their bigger days. The fact that he beat the piss out of the second place horse Antrax by almost 9 lengths, and that horse won with a 68 buyer next out. That 68 buyer is better than the 2, better than the 3, better than the 4, better than the 6, better than the 8, better than the 9, better than the 10. Pretty much better than anything other than the 5 and 7 have done in here. So that backs up that was a quality foe for that level and placement there. And with the purse structure they've had at Colonial, I've noticed that horses are exiting Colonial and running really well wherever they kind of show up if they're spotted properly. So with you on the 1, I'm going to try to beat Comport. So I have a $96 ticket. Mike's playing it for $48. I think if you're playing Comport, you need to be a little cheaper because he's going to be on so many tickets. I'm trying to beat him, playing horses that I think can improve. The second one I'm going to use, I'm going to go with the number 4, So Special, who's 10-1. And the buyers, 45, 43, nothing to get you excited. But this horse debuted routing on the turf. This horse might ultimately be better on the turf. But the fact that they debuted this horse going a mile and then stretched out to a mile and 16 for the second start tells me they want distance more than anything for this son of Vacoma. The Dam, she was a 3-time turf mile stakes winner, so there's ability there. The Sibs were all precocious. They've all been successful on all 3 surfaces. They've been good dirt routers. And with Hennessy as the Dam sire, I think this might be more of a dirt horse. I think if you look at the running style, the fact that his 2 starts, he was relatively close. He wasn't a dead set closer on the turf. I think that running style will actually work better on dirt than it will on turf. So taking a swing, 10-1, it's McPeak, it's Brian Hernandez Jr. I think this horse, distance-wise, no problem, might be better on the dirt.
Don't fully disagree with you. I do think that the 4 could be better on the dirt here. I like the fact that Hernandez Jr. gets aboard. You've got Irad Ortiz on the other McPeak, and we have seen McPeak pull off these upsets in these Kentucky races, especially early on in the Kentucky Derby point system. So I don't hate the 4. I did not use the 4. Would have been the 5th horse on my ticket, or if you want to leave Comport off my ticket and put 4 horses on here, So Special would have been that horse. I am going 4 deep. I'm going to go with 2 other prices here. So I'm using the 1 and the 7, and then we're going to go with the 9, which nice name for the post 9 ball here. Corner pocket.
Punch play.
I used to love playing 9 ball. Riley Mott here, the trainer, 16% on the year. Bill's son. I like Riley Mott quite a bit as a trainer. I think he's still getting under bet. Torres jumps aboard here. I thought the first race was actually very good. Did not get off to a very good start. was able to kind of go out wide and be able to just run everybody down there at Ellis Park. Time was pretty good considering what, especially what the start was like. I like the fact that we come back and we get a 47-4 out of a gate workout here. So specifically focusing on the ability to run fast early here for the number 9 ball. 63 buyer on debut, which is the second highest debut buyer of anybody in this field, only behind the number 1 Nothing Personal. I guess number 3 No More Sense, also 64, so slightly better. But very good debut buyer that this horse can build off of. Riley Mott, very good sprint to route, 16% with a $4.17 ROI. I think the stretch out here helps this horse. So we're going to go with the number 9 ball as the third horse on here at 12-1.
So we have almost identical plays here. I swapped out your 7 for the 4, but the 1 on top, the 9 in third, agree, and we agree on the last one. I'll just yes and you and say that the damn Ali Darla of the 9, she won her first 2 starts, broke her maiden on debut very nicely at Saratoga. She ended up being just a sprinter, but I do like that this horse, it seemed like 5.5 was just getting started. And you see Code of Honor as the sire. I think that's going to give this horse the ability to stretch it to a mile. I don't know if I want to go much farther beyond a mile with this horse based on that breeding, but a 1-turn mile, I think, is very much in this horse's wheel well. And then we also use the 8 Vost, a homebred for OXO Equine. Another one that the debut, I think, was pretty strong. Broke from the rail on debut, tough spot for a horse, was off slow, shuffled to the rear. So you see, if you're looking at the form, it says 1/11, so broke from post 1 of 11. And then the next number, 11, means of the 11 horses, this was the last one out of the gate. So spots the field a bit and then steadily improved, not rushed up and then stayed up on top. Is this horse just steadily improved? We talk about Riley Mott being a great trainer. Will Walden's another fantastic trainer. I love betting Will Walden horses. You can often catch him at prices. This horse was 6-1 on debut. And if you remember the damn Water White, which I feel like she just retired not that long ago, but she broke her maiden at age 2. All 3 wins were at 8 furlongs, so a 1-turn mile at Aqueduct. She was grade 1 and grade 2 placed, going 8 furlongs, a 1-turn mile at Aqueduct. So another one that I don't know how much farther beyond a mile this one wants to go, but for a flat 1-turn mile, I think that the 8 Voss, just like the 9, can outrun those odds for sure.
Yeah, I like Voss as well, specifically the Will Walden angle here, a big part of it for me. I think that's it's another trainer that I don't think gets necessarily the love that he should in these races or in these stakes races. A horse that should be able to step forward here, like the breeding as well for Instagram stretching out. And the debut for me also jumped off the page. We talk a lot about how hard it is to win at 7 furlongs. We also talk about how hard it is to win from the rail. Well, guess what? Voss won going 7 furlongs from the rail and had to pass a bunch of horses in doing so. So I thought that was a pretty impressive run there as well. I got to say, this Magic, it's a little weird with your face, just one eye staring at me as I talk right next to the pieces. I don't know how I feel about that. We might need to adjust here for a future one there, but yeah, the random Magic eye staring.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a little... Anyway, yeah, I like Voss as well. I think the 8 is live here, like the price at 12-1, like the trainer, and like that debut effort. So 1, 7, 8, 9 to get through this one for me.
Chris Mello asked a question. He said, the Iroquois, the Native American tribe, lived in New York. Why is this the name of a race in Kentucky? It's named for a horse named Iroquois, who was the first American horse to win the Epsom Derby in England. That horse, in turn, named for the Native American tribe. So it is named for the tribe, but just kind of like by association. But that is a good question because you have Iroquois and Pocahontas, and you're like, why is that the case? Well, there you go. There's your answer. Go ahead.
I don't think Churchill names races after Indian tribes. They name them after horses.
Yeah. It is a fair question, though.
It is a fair question. I'll give you that. But Chris, come on.
Come on, Chris.
Come on,
Chris.
You're better than that, Chris.
Keep an open mind, Chris. Let's move on to race 9, the open mind stakes, 6.5 furlongs for the
look what
fillies
you did there.
And mares. And another short field. You have 3 horses that are either 2-1, 3-1, or 5-2 on the morning line. Where'd you go on top?
Yeah, I didn't go crazy here. I wanted to keep this short, so this is going to just be a 2-deep leg for me. I'm going to go with a little bit of a price, like a little baby price here. 7-2 on the number 3 horse, Little Prankster, who... this is an interesting race because a lot of these horses are successful going longer. We've got Taxton here who has had some success going longer. We've got Postano Street who has had success going 7 furlongs, going some 2-turn races. I kind of feel like Little Prankster might be the best little sprinter in here. Taking a while to get back to the stakes level. Last time out, we did see this horse in a graded stakes. I like the fact that they're keeping her in a stakes race after that effort, which was not that great. It was also over the slop where we'd seen her run well before, so that's a little disconcerting. But I do think Little Prankster is the horse that sets the best trip here. I expect the 1 to go and the 3 to get first run. I think the 3 Little Prankster are able to take over top of the lane and get her done. Also likes Churchill quite a bit. 4 runs on over this track. 1 win, 3 seconds. So the number 3, Little Prankster on top for me.
I thought this was the hardest race to pick out a horse. There's 6 horses, and we're each going too deep, and we're not agreeing on anything here. But I thought it was so tough. If you have a stronger opinion in another spot, maybe single whoever the tote board makes the favorite in the first race there, and hit the all button here, because I thought this was tough. My issue with Little Prankster, like, you make great points, but in 3 starts, she hasn't quite looked her same as she did as a 3-year-old. She missed all of 2024. The fact that she's going 6.5 gave me pause, because a race at 7, she was a 77% favorite in the main special weight. She was second, not close. She won 6.5 at Saratoga at the race after breaking her maiden, which was nice, but then she had a big lead and almost got caught. She just held on to win by a head. So I think at 6, I'm using Little Prankster. I'm against her at 6.5. But again, this was a race where I was more like poking holes and finding who had the most holes, rather than saying, I love this horse, I love that horse.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I did not find a standout here, which I thought made this difficult. I don't love like Impel cutting back, and that was my biggest issue with that horse, and why that horse didn't end up making the ticket. We'll see if the cutback makes a difference or not. Did run well on debut going 6, but yeah, I thought this was a difficult race, but because there's only 6 here, I don't want to go 3 deep. I don't want to go 4 deep and expand the cost of the ticket. And I don't love this race as an all button, because I don't think the 1 can win. And if the 1 can't win,
true.
all of a sudden you're getting a shorter price with your all button. So I would rather take a stand here, and I went 2 deep as my stand, but I'd rather take a stand here than try and go in super deep and just hope that you're right.
So you put the 3 on top. I did put Impel on top. A part of that is because of Regaled almost beating her in the Groupie Doll, going a mile, and being my top play in the Locust Grove. But also, I think that the cutback might help her. It's a slightly elongated sprint. Now, she's raced at 7 furlongs in the 8 Bell. She was second. She raced at 6.5 at Keeneland in April, but it was 4th in a field of 7. She was the favorite, but she was coming in off of a layoff. It was Keeneland. I don't know the trip that the 6. I'm hoping the 6 gets a trip like she had in her last 2 when she was going a mile. I want her to sit off of it a little bit and be able to take advantage in the stretch. She does have a win at Churchill Downs that came 2 back with Florent Giroux aboard. It's taken her a while to get back into her 3-year-old buyer figures, but she's, an 88 buyer, was tied for her second best of her career. If she can improve off of that, she's a player. But she also has 3 other races in 2025 where you're like, what those figures are comparable to the 1. We'll just say that.
And I don't know what she does. I mean, you look at the race with Pratt on debut going 6.5. She's on the lead, going 22 and 3, 45 and 4. You fast forward to like the last 3 races where she's going a mile and an eighth, a mile and a mile, and she's not in the lead, and we're going like 50 to the half and 47.
That's
it's
true.
Like, what are we going to get here today? And I kind of felt like we're going to get a slower Impel, that the Giroux is not going to be as aggressive early. And I don't want a horse that's trying to close deep in this race, because it feels like the 1's in the lead, and then there's really not that much speed after that. So I just didn't know what to expect from Impel. And at 5-2 with a horse that I think needs to improve, I decided to leave her off the ticket. I am going to use the 4, the favorite here, who I think is clearly the best horse on paper in this race. Pastino Street, back-to-back grade 1s, including a win in the grade 1 Madison, 2 back, Derby City Destiny, I can't remember. Copian Hope Road, Ways and Means, that's just way better than this field that we're facing today. 2 for 4 at the distance with a second place finish as well. Her big concern is she needs a setup. She's going to come from off the pace. There's just not a world beater in here. I think Pastano Street probably the best horse on paper. So 3-4 for me.
I mean, either of those efforts going 7 furlongs in the spring, I think are definitely beat this field. And she's going to have the same trip, I think, that I'm hoping for from the 6. She's going to be heavily bet. But yeah, this is, I was between I almost put the 4 on. I had the horse in 3rd, but I didn't want to go 2-1, 5-2, and then use the 8-1 number 5, who's also on my ticket. So I cut the 4 out. As far as the 5 Meeks Palace, getting a price, she's 8-1. She's a horse that has 2 starts at the distance, a win in a second. She's coming off of a second in the slop in a stakes race at Ellis Park, which I thought wasn't a bad effort. She did win the Roxolana here back on April 26th with a really nice trip under Size. But I think Size was kind of the factor for me. He's been on her 6 times in the past. She's got 3 wins, a second, and a third. The fact that Size is here for Keneally, who's 14% with a flat bet profit in stakes races, I thought was a strong sign. And she had a really nice 47 flat work at Keeneland on September 2nd. So the 5, I think, definitely outruns those 8-1 odds. If she's good enough to win, we'll just have to wait to find out.
Yeah, 5, I've considered. Like, this is one of those races where, again, I think you kind of just take a stand with 1 or 2 in here, and you hope you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And at 8-1, I wouldn't talk you off the 5 as one of those horses you want to try and make a stand with.
Race number 10. This will be a fun one. The Louisville Thoroughbred Society Stakes, $300,000 purse, 6 furlongs, the distance here, and holy speed. We've got Skelly, whose time form rating is early pace rating is 137. You've got World Record, whose time form rating is 125. Ben Tornado is back since the Breeders' Cup Sprint first start. He's got a 123. The 6 horse has a 121. There's a ton of speed in here. Does someone go Gate to Wire?
Oh, no, and I think one of those horses that you mentioned wins it, though. Look, 6 furlongs, you usually don't see the collapse, right? We've seen the collapse at 6.5. We see the collapse at 7.
Right.
Usually it doesn't fall apart at 6. Now, I am going to use a horse that I like from a little bit of off the pace, but I'm going to start with the number 1 World Record on top here. Draws the rail. I thought the last race was just a little bit weird one in the Bing Crosby. Was kind of in a weird spot, never really got out as cleanly as World Record. I think probably wanted to be a little more forwardly placed. Ended up running a good third in that spot. Hijazi, I thought, ran very well. Lovesick Blues was a little bit of a random one, but what can you do? Race before that, they go 20-4, 43-3, and World Records banging heads, ends up losing Durante there. The race right before that wins this year in my mind. That was a Gate to Wire win. I actually think World Record can sit from off it. If you go back to the $125,000 allowance over at Keeneland, was 4th early, ran by him all late. That's the kind of trip I'm looking for World Record here, who should have some little more upside as a 4-year-old late in the season here. Likes Churchill Downs 2 for 4 at the track, including being in the money in all 4 races. Likes the distance 2 for 6 of the distance, including being in the money in all 6 races. So number 1 World Record on top for me.
I passed on him because I don't think he's going to be the fastest out of the gate. The rail draw worries me. I'm worried that out of the gate, faster horses will kind of cross over and shuffle him back, and then suddenly he's on the rail tucked behind a bunch of other horses going faster than him, and how is he going to work out the trip? So if he's able to break and protect the rail, then I think he's got a chance, but I really don't know that he can do that. He might. I thought this was probably the second toughest race because I think you can make more cases for horses. Race 9 was hard because it was like, there's no standout. They've all got their issues. Race 10, I'm like, well, with the right trip, I mean, if he gets the Patch Adams trip from the rail, I think he definitely can win.
Yeah, I mean, the Patch Adams trip will be great. I'd happily take that because I do think he's got a shot at winning. I think it's going to be interesting. Ben Tornado, the Ben Tornado, the 3 horse who ran second last time in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, I think is a very interesting horse because it's one of those that you're either for or against. I accidentally had him on my ticket. I'm actually against him in this spot. I see that you're for him, so make the case here for Ben Tornado.
Oh, so yeah, we each went 3 deep and we agreed on everything. This is kind of a classic Jose D'Angelo horse where he's coming off of a layoff, but he'll probably fire a big one. They're only going 6 furlongs. His record is 6 furlongs, 3 wins and 4 starts. The one time he lost, he was a half length behind Straight No Chaser in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He's also the classic super fast D'Angelo horse. Well, not even D'Angelo. I shouldn't lump D'Angelo with this, but he's just a classic super fast horse who will struggle to stay on the track for a long time. You look at a horse like Straight No Chaser, perfect example. Unbelievably fast, too fast for his own good, where he ends up kind of hurting himself and tweaking himself. But when he's on, this horse is just absolutely phenomenal. They've been gearing up for this race for a long time. You look at the works. I know you like the sneaky second best effort. August 22nd, second best of 115 horses, 47 flat from the gate. You go back to August 1st, he went 45 flat. I mean, that might have been a fast Saratoga track that day. That's
That's very good.
ridiculously good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very
So
good.
he's very fast. He's a horse that's going to go right to the front and make everybody try and either press him or fend him off. And anytime that he's been fended off going less than a mile, so 7 furlongs, okay, but he's right there with a chance. And then the one time in his career that he finishes third going a mile, Forever Young and Bookham Dano. I mean, two absolute world-class standout horses, and he was third in that race. So I like it. I didn't single him, but boy, do I love him off the layoff here in this spot.
Yeah, I can't. The price to me is the problem. I think he gets bet down
Okay.
from 3 to 1, and it's a long layoff. You're right. Like D'Angelo, dude's good. He's 16% off this type of layoff, so it's not like his horses don't run. IRED takes them out. That's obviously a good sign. Rode this horse twice. I just don't fully trust last year. Like, and then you have this win or the second place in the sprint at 28 to 1, and now you're coming back at 3 to 1 against what is a pretty good field with a ton of speed signed on, and that's what Ben Tornado wants to do. So just enough for me to stay away from the 3 here. Give me the number 5 Nash in second here for Brad Cox. This is the horse I think really benefits from a boatload of speed. This horse likes to sit off the pace and be able to make one run. Now, not the most consistent horse. Did face some very good horses last time in the Vanderbilt, so I'm not outwardly knocking it, and had to deal with Joel Rosario on the back, which is not a great sign. If you look at what the current jockey Machado has done with him, 2 wins and a second, so very good returns here for Machado. One of those over a sloppy track, that was the career best. Maybe it was the slop that helped out, but if you go and look at the fast track, does have 2 wins over 10 efforts over a fast track here, and likes Churchill Downs quite a bit as well. 2 for 4 with 2 seconds too. I think Nash gets the trip just right behind the speed, gets first run. They don't need to come back to Nash for him to win. They just need to slow down a little bit, and I think that is likely here at 6 furlongs. So number 5 Nash in second for me.
We had a similar idea when looking for horses that might benefit from a pace collapse and putting them in second place. Nash is a horse that I can't ever bet. Like I don't trust him. I don't like him. I've been mad at this horse since he was a 2-year-old. He did win the Hot Spring Stakes very impressively, but then he throws up a bunch of clunkers, and then he beats allowance horses at Turfway Park, and then he can't beat world record, and then he can't do anything in the Vanderbilt. If he wins, I'll let him beat me. I did use the horse who actually beat your top play the last time they showed up, and that's the number 8 Durante. And is a classic David Jacobson horse. He's going to throw them out. If they got 4 legs all seeming to point in the right direction, he's going to throw them out there and throw them out there. And Durante, his style is to sit off of it and have the pace come back to him. A race like the Jeff Hill Memorial at Ellis Park. All right, well, they didn't come back to him, but Banishing and Booth were right up there. The Kelly's Landing, he almost catches Dr. Venkman and Roll On Big Joe. He wants pace to come back to him, and when he gets that set up, he's got a good late kick to take advantage of it. If this field stays pretty much intact, I think he'll get that, so I'll use him.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I'd want more than 12 to 1. Won at 33 to 1 the day that he won. Yeah. So I understand, but I understand why. Clearly, one of the horses you pick if you think that the winner is gonna come from off the pace. So I don't hate to use the 8 there with a little better price. But I'm going to go right to the inside of Durante to a horse, Little Knee, who I think may be very talented. This horse won last time out against Surveillance, lost to Concrete Glory when no one was beating Concrete Glory at Saratoga over a muddy track on July 12th right before that. Those are the 2 efforts we've seen it for. And this horse ran really well for Eddie Owens before switching over to the Mark Casse barn. Runs in the Jerkins, doesn't run very well. Goes to the turf, runs okay, takes a break, comes back and pops back-to-back buyers that are second and third best in the career. So look, the only one better back in the Jersey Shore gets 101, running second to Bookham Dano by a nose. This is a very lightly raced horse, only 8 races. There's a lot of upside for Little Knee still. I think you might see Little Knee run a career best effort. And if that's the case, Little Knee has the setup, wants to sit off the pace. I think everything kind of fits for this horse at 12 to 1. So 157 for me to get through here. I think Little Knee has a big shot.
I like Rob Ben's comment. That horse at 12 to 1 is silly. Maybe it gets bet down, but that horse shouldn't be 12 to 1 off those efforts. If Durante, who just raced on August 30th, if Jacobson scratches him, I'll put Little Knee on.
Four
Or if
legs
there's
and a
any scratches
tail.
in this race.
4 legs and a tail. That horse is running.
Yeah, I know. And actually he did run off of a 2-week layoff back in May. He was third and then came back 2 weeks later and beat world record in the Aristides Stakes with Jose aboard. Now you get Jose to ride Little Knee. I think definitely still some upside there. Third horse for me, I'm going to the 10 horse Skelly because this horse knows one thing and one thing only, and that is go.
Burn, baby,
He is
burn.
all gas, no brake. Sometimes instead of a brake, he slams into a wall head first. But when he is faster than everybody early, he is really hard to catch. So I'm putting Skelly on there just because Saya's hopping aboard. He's 31% at the meet, or at Churchill Downs rather, for Steve Asmussen. Boy, this horse is lightning fast, and if that Churchill Downs main track is souped up for speed, Skelly breaking from the outside, gone.
Yeah. I want to make sure you know this race isn't at Oaklawn. Are you aware this race is not at Oaklawn Park?
He's won at Churchill. He was second in this race last year.
Once, yes, and he has 9 wins at Oaklawn or 10 wins at Oaklawn, 1 at Churchill. Yeah, this race is not at Oaklawn. I will not be using Skelly.
Okay,
That's simple for
fair.
me.
That's fair. He's one of those horses that I like to bet initially just because he gives you a thrill.
Yeah,
He breaks and he goes, and you're like, yeah, go. And then they get to like the 8th pole, and you're like, wire.
Yeah, he will matter for the first 52 seconds of this race and be irrelevant for the final, 12.
Well, he'll be relevant in the sense that if he gets cooked up front and can't finish the job, he's relevant because everybody who's trying to pass him is darting around. It's like, there you go. It's like the one asshole who's doing like 20 under the speed limit on the freeway, and everyone else is like, and they're in the middle lane, and everybody's splitting around him trying to.
Skelly is going to turn for home, and then around the quarter pole decide to pull out the lawn chair and just sit down and basically become a pylon in the stretch.
I prefer Size is going to pull out his cell phone and call for a cab to help get them to the finish line. But yeah, either way. Some Oaklawn blinkers. Just make him think that there's
paint the side or the Oaklawn picture there.
Yeah, and you go with the virtual reality headset, but just put him in blinkers. Make him think that he's just literally just running at Oaklawn.
What if you brought dirt from Oaklawn and then put like hoofs that just had Oaklawn dirt inside of it in like a little circle underneath it, so that you're running on Oaklawn dirt and then that's running in Churchill dirt? Maybe that'll help.
Oh, we have fun here. All right, so it's going to be, for me, it's going to be 3, 8, 10, and remind us how you're playing race 10.
I'm going 1, 5, 7. Price hunting here.
All right, we'll see what kind of price we can get in the nightcap. We'll move on to the only non-stakes race on the card, and could have some good horses coming out of this one. Maiden special weight for males 3 and up, going 6 furlongs, and 12 horses entered. 2 also eligibles. One of those, I think, if he draws in, is very important. But where'd you go on top here?
Kentucky Derby points race, right? No, I'm kidding. Not a Kentucky Derby points race. I went with the number 2, Barker, on top here. Second out for Chris Davis. We saw this horse debut at Kentucky Downs on August 28th. So we'll see if this horse runs a couple weeks back, but I do think we're going to see it. You got some bullet workouts, some impressive workouts from this horse over the last couple efforts over at Turfway Park leading up to that Kentucky Downs effort. This was one of those horses where you saw it forwardly placed and then just kind of backs off. They go 1:1:32. I'm really interested to see what we get from these Kentucky Downs horses coming out of it. I don't think necessarily the turf is very important for some of these, but I do think Barker has the opportunity to run well. I like the fact that Jose Ortiz jumps aboard here, and we always talk about blame horses and not wanting those horses on the turf. Well, now the blame is headed over to the dirt. Pioneer of the Nile on the bottom side. Love the breeding. I think this horse will be a little better second out, and I know I've got speed. So the number 2, Barker, 6-1 on top for me.
Yes. Hold on. You almost made it through the whole show, baby girl. Listen, Barker, I thought about using. I have one of the all soldiers on my ticket. If he scratches, the 2 is going to go in the place there. I like all the reasons you mentioned. Jose Ortiz continuing to be red hot wherever he's at. He's 41% for the Davis barn, and you mentioned that really sharp work at Turfway Park. We'll see how he handles the dirt. He's got one sibling that raced. It was a 2-time winner dirt sprinting by Practical Joke. So definitely dirt sprint pedigree there from the sire for that horse. But I still think this is an interesting horse with Jose hopping aboard for Chris Davis. Top play, if he draws in, the 13 is my top play, Sabito. I loved this horse. I was so mad that he was on the also eligible list because I think he'd be a very big standout if he gets in. And listen, 12 horses in. What are the odds all 12 of them go to the gate? Not that high. A Son of Spitestown on debut for Bill Mott at Saratoga, going 6.5 furlongs. Somehow was 10-1. Set the pace, really good effort, and just got a little tired late. But if that race was 6 furlongs, he might win it. You had the third place finisher, Worthy Charge, came back to win next time out. Worthy Charge got a 96 buyer for winning at Saratoga in his second start for Chad Brown. So the 13, if he draws in, an absolute must-use top play for me. I don't care where he breaks from the post. That horse looks really talented.
Yeah, if the 13's in, I'm using this horse as well. I didn't include it on the ticket simply because it's also eligible. Don't usually include those, but I agree with Magic. If the 13's in, I'm using it. I'm probably leaving the 2 off, which is ironic because it's the top pick, but it's also the speed play in this race for me. And so the 13 kind of takes over the speed value there.
Next play for me, we actually agreed. So this is funny. Another one of those cases where we agreed on everything else here. Let's go with the number 4. That was my second choice. Hitchcock debuted at Churchill Downs as a 2-year-old, late running third behind Middy's Greedy. El Prestigio, a horse who absolutely loved finishing second and third and second and third and second and third. Out of that, doesn't return until March at Colonial Downs. Gets a nice speed figure, finishing second as the 3-5 favorite to Verifier. He won 2 straight races next out with buyers in the 90s, including the Maxfield Stakes at Churchill Downs. So a horse who's very clearly had problems staying healthy and staying on the track, but he is talented. And I think that Hitchcock, the 4 horse, the fact that he's here is a good sign. It's not a horse that you love to own because of how many vet bills you're paying for him, but when he's at the track, he gives a big effort.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Verifier, very good horse. Ran second to that horse last time out. Irad was riding at Colonial for that horse. Started out with Saez, another good sign for an Urton horse. Cost $550,000. Very logical horse in my mind. So yeah, the 4 makes the ticket here. Second pick for me was number 7. 7 Nuanced. I'm not a huge Chad Brown guy, especially on the dirt. We've talked about it before. But this is one of those horses that looks like it's just ready to absolutely roll. So TGAF jumps aboard. It's a Kalleward horse. It's a big sale from Complexity, who's been a very good sire so far. Stands for 25, sold for 340. It's the workout 3-back over the Churchill Dirt that also stands out here. 47-4, 4 out of 151. So a nice sneaky good workout. No bullet, but still a very good work. A little worried the 2 gate works aren't that great, but at this 92 price, I'm willing to take a shot here with the number 7 Nuance. So start with the 247 for me. Did you use the 7, Magic?
Yep, use the 7 and use your last one as well. But the 7, what ultimately tipped me in, because this was my last horse, what tipped him over onto the ticket for me was the fact that a gelded Son of Complexity as a 3-year-old that's taken till September 3 campaign to debut, he could find, Chad Brown could kick the horse out of the stable and say this isn't a very good horse and tell Kalleward to sell him. He could send him to Monmouth Park to debut. The fact that he's at Churchill, I thought was really interesting because you're going after a $120,000 purse, which there's going to be a lot of good horses that haven't fulfilled their expectations yet. They're all going to be trying to get that big piece of $120,000. So for them to take the horse here and not go to Monmouth Park for an easier spot to make that first career start, I thought was telling enough of this horse's talent, Chad Brown's belief in him, so I put him on the ticket.
Yeah, Chad Brown, especially training at Churchill, kind of a surprise. It feels like this was always the goal to kind of start this one off here, which also tells me it's a dirt horse, not a turf horse. If his string is at Churchill, usually it means it's dirt as a 2-year-old. So all those reasons, I think Nuance makes sense. I'm going to go a little price here. I love Nyquist as a sire. I think this might be a better turf horse long-term. We'll see if that actually plays out. But the number 9 in Fuego has a very consistent work tab. Rusty Arnold, pretty good. First start, 12%, but has a $2.08 ROI. Saez and Arnold together at Churchill, 28%, 27% across the globe. And it is a $400,000 son of Nyquist, who we've seen be a very, very good early sire. So do like the number 9 in Fuego quite a bit as well here.
Yeah, and you mentioned might better be a turf horse because Belvoir Bay, the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint champion, she was an awesome turf sprinting mare. Has a half sibling that was racing in Saudi on dirt, who's 2 for 5. Now, I couldn't really find much information beyond that, but the fact that there was a half sibling that was winning on dirt, I thought was a good sign. And Saya's hopping aboard for Rusty Arnold. I mean, they're 28% at Churchill, 27% overall. Very strong connections there. So, yeah, I'm with you trying to go price hunting with the 9 there, because whether or not he wins, he's probably going to outrun those 12-1 odds. And I don't know if we get 12-1 or anything close to it for his next start.
No, I doubt it. I do think long term, maybe a turf horse. One I want to stable up off of this if we don't end up getting the win with Fuego here.
Boy, Nyquist has been in Fuego as a sire as well. My goodness, it's good to see him having such success like that as a son of Uncle Mo.
I love me some Nyquist. I still remember Nyquist winning against Jacoby Jade. Now it's just weird. Did you realize our heads are above our bodies now? Like in these,
I just realized that.
It's like I have to hold on. There we go. Almost pulled it off.
Like your head got shrunk.
Yeah, right. Like double shoulders instead of a double chin. I love Nyquist, man. I just got to see Nyquist win. There you go. I got to see Nyquist win at Del Mar in person. Jacoby Jade won in the same pick 4 sequence, one of the first horses I owned, so that was pretty cool. And then love to see that horse follow up and be able to win at the Breeders' Cup and obviously the Derby.
Yeah, the first horse that I ever bet in the Kentucky Derby to win was Nyquist, because this website called racingdudes.com made him their top pick, and they seemed to know what they were talking about. And I was like, okay, I'll play Nyquist here.
Yeah.
Playing Nyquist, following Aaron's lead and playing Nyquist in the Preakness. All right, that didn't work out as well, but it was a good play in the Kentucky Derby.
Hey, broken clock's right twice a day, right?
That's going to do it for this episode of the Magic Mike Show. Appreciate you joining us to talk about Saturday, September 13th at Churchill Downs, their late pick 5. We'll give out our tickets one last time. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, thanks for joining us. If you are listening on podcast form, we'll read them out for you. I'm going to start off. I'm going to go 1-3 with 1-4-8-9, 5-6 with 3-8-10. And then I went 4-7-9-13 in the last. If the 13 doesn't draw in and the 2 stays in, I'll be 2-4-7-9, which exactly matches how you played that last leg.
Yeah, give me a 50-cent ticket here. $48 total. 3 with 1-7-8-9, with 3-4, with 1-5-7, with 2-4-7-9, and screw it. Just add the 13. If it draws in, it'll take my ticket to $60. Still relatively cheap.
Yeah, I'll put you in there. 13. Boom. So people can't say we didn't have it. All right. That's going to do it for us. What do you have on slate with VSiN this weekend, my friend?
A lot more football talk. I actually have a new podcast out if you want to check it out called Sharp Money with Patrick Maher every Sunday night and Thursday. So right after the NFL ends, we jump on, talk through everything that happened on that Sunday for a quick review, and then get bets into our account. Got in front of like 3 numbers this Sunday. Pretty happy with getting those early bets in. You can catch that in podcast form over Spotify or Apple. The other so that's a Sunday night, Thursday morning, and then I'll be on live VSiN on VSiN channel 158 on Sirius XM. Also on VSiN on YouTube TV as well. That'll be from 3 to 7 Pacific time on Saturday and 1 to 4 Pacific time on Sunday. 6 to 7, one of the best hours on VSiN. The contest show will reveal all of the Circa Survivor picks as well as the picks in Circa Million with Derek Stevens and Jeffrey Benson. So make sure you check that out as well.
And there it is on screen, Sharp Money Podcast. Is Dustin still working there? Dustin Swedelson? Because he was with Patrick on that show last year.
He was. So we took the show name because it was a show that I was a guest on every single week, even though the back end round is different. So we kept the show name. So it's Patrick and I. Dustin has his own show now. You can check him out. VSiN After Dark, I think it is. VSiN After Dark, something like that.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have to mention it.
Cashing Out. That's the name. That'll be coming out. Pedlo, thank you. Appreciate that you're a follower. It's gonna be a fun show, man. Once Patrick and I get in a rhythm, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have a couple ideas going for the Sunday podcast as well. So we're going to have some very interesting information. Looking forward to getting that out to everybody. So if you're an NFL bettor, make sure you're following Sharp Money. 3-0 last night. Thursday Night Football. Nice little start there to the week. So excited about that and excited about all my Packers future bets because I have a lot of them. And I got them before they traded for Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. And so got some decent numbers on them as well, Magic.
Great to hear it. You're in your element betting football there. This is a horse racing show, but you are really in your element with all of the statistics there with the football. Over at racingdudes.com, just to give them a quick plug here, featured free picks. You can see how the payouts have been going. Los Alamitos with the daytime racing returning red hot. Listen, I know we make fun of Los Alamitos because they are they're the redheaded stepchild of the Southern California racing circuit. But they had the highest per field size average during the summer meet that they've had in the 12-year history of thoroughbred racing at Los Alamitos. So the field sizes are getting up. Happy to see them return, and hopefully they can have a good time out there. But the most important question of all, what's the best Halloween movie? I'm assuming he's talking about Halloween, the franchise.
Yeah, the original.
Scary movie.
The original.
I'm a big fan of Halloween 2 as well. The original, it's a classic. I'm not going to say it's not the one. It's not the first one. It's a classic.
I mean, I have some very fond memories about watching that for the first time with a lady friend. So I'll always be picking the original. Always be picking the original Halloween.
Wow! All right, not a movie Mike's seen a lot of, but he has some good memories with it. I get it. Did you ever see the one? Was it H2O? The 20 years later one.
Yeah, I don't love those like the return of the franchises, right? Like when Scream came back. Like I can't get in that kind of stuff. What's your favorite scary movie?
Ooh, I like them. I don't know that I have a huge favorite. I mean, the Halloween movies are up there. Trying to think. I love. It's almost like a satire of horror movies. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is a comedy about these two like country bumpkins who are like. They're out fishing, and then a bunch of like hot college kids show up to like a cabin in the woods, and the kids all start dying, and it's not the country bumpkins' fault. But if like the movie was, it's like traditional horror movie where it's like, oh, the country bumpkins are killing all of these hot college kids, but then you're seeing it from the bumpkin side, and they're like, no, we're just here trying to live our life. It's really funny. Alan Tudyk's one of the country bumpkins in it.
All right. I'm actually not a huge horror fan. So I would again pull them from like my childhood, like the original Scream. I thought was very good. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I thought like good, funny, right? Not like the best movie ever. Does Zombieland count as a horror movie?
Yeah, that's a fantastic one.
I mean, I'll put Zombieland up there as my favorite horror movie. Then, if that one counts as a horror movie.
Zombieland, that's a great pull. I also loved the Purge movies. I actually think I like the second Purge movie better than the first. They're very different. First Purge is they're all trapped in their house and they're being attacked during the Purge. The second one is they're forced onto the streets of Los Angeles and trying to survive. The Purge. I kind of like the Purge movies too.
Do you know what comes out this month, Magic? Now that we're talking about media, and we both kind of love like movies and TV.
What's that?
What's that? Nobody Wants This season 2. We're just like 10 days away from Nobody Wants This.
Oh shit, that's right. It does come out
on Netflix. Yes, phenomenal show. I love the show. I got Magic to watch the show. Magic's co-signs on the show. Also, I got to give a shout out because this is so I have a group of friends, right? There's 5 of us that all stood at each other's wedding, bachelor parties, all that kind of stuff. When I was 24. I moved 26. I moved to Los Angeles. So 16 years ago, met one of my friends, moved in with this guy named Pizza. His name's Paul Pianezza. Yep. He came to Los Angeles with the idea that he wanted to get a movie made. He is the only person I know to go to Los Angeles and actually then make a movie. It opens this weekend in theaters called Code 3. His brother wrote it. He is he's the executive producer on it, or one of the producers on it. If you are in Los Angeles, if you're around, check out Code 3. It's a comedy / drama around life as a paramedic, because his brother was a paramedic and wrote it off his real life experiences. So check that out. Code 3 in theaters this weekend. Paul and Patrick Pianezza, two brothers from Springfield, Illinois, who decided to make a movie and actually made it happen.
You got some good people in there. Rainn Wilson's the star. Lil Rel Howery, if you remember, was it Nope? No, Us, which is another fantastic horror film. Jordan Peele's first horror film, Us. He's in that. Rob Riggle is in the movie. So, okay. Yeah. Well, good luck to him.
I saw a pre-finished cut. It was actually funny. It was actually good. Like, I was very proud of him. Like, not only did you make a movie, you made a good movie. And like I said, when you live in Los Angeles, you live in Los Angeles, right? You meet so many people that say they're going to make a movie. You literally see zero of those people actually make a movie. So super proud of my friend Paul Pianezza, who actually made his movie, and it's in theaters this weekend.
Paul and Patrick Pianezza. Well, good on them. That's awesome. A huge accomplishment. Check out Code 3. And if you need help spelling that, we can't help you.
You probably need help spelling a lot of things.
Listen, follow us on Twitter. I'm at Curtis Kalleward. I'm not going to spell. You can see down there. He's at Somobomb 18, number 1, number 8. Corporate Overlords at Racing_Dudes. Blinkers Off was live last night, so check that out wherever you find podcasts, or over on the YouTube channel. I'll be on 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific the next 2 days, the next 2 weekends on the weekends, because they're at Los Alamitos. So super easy shift. I show up and just play backup when the people that actually are talking about horse racing need a break, and then turn it over to Los Alamitos. I'm like, bridge the gap. Los Alamitos daytime ends. They have an hour break. They go to me, and then it's my buddy Los Ponies that all of you a-holes shit on earlier in the show.
Just saying, I don't love the theory. I love Los Ponies. I've met him multiple times. Very nice dude. Very good handicapper. Not the greatest strategery there to start out a carryover pick 5. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
there we go.
Somebody married to a Jewish lady. Nobody wants this as popular in our house. You've given me a lot of great recommendations over the years. That's top 2. I won't say it's number 1, because there's probably one that's more monumental, but that is like top 2 for sure.
Dude, no, it's great. It's great. Like, I love it's I can never remember. It's Adam Brody, right?
Adam Brody. Yep.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody's very different. Actually.
Yeah, very different vibes there. I really like Adam Brody. I thought he was. I enjoyed the OC back in the day when I was like growing up. I thought he was good in that. It's like, he is funny. The show is funny. The brother just steals the show. He's hilarious every single scene that he's in. Just watch the first episode. You'll like it. It's great.
He's Jonah from Veep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back next week with another scintillating Pick 5 show and some other fun as well. Until then, I'm Magic.
And I'm Mike.
Good luck.
The Magic Mike Show, where you hear the experts speak. The Magic Mike Show. Tune into the show every week. The Magic Mike Show. You can trust the show is the bomb, because it's being brought to you by RacingDudes.com.